So we're holding in the Gemara towards the bottom of Kuf Chav Ches Amud Beis. This is the Gemara that talks about the halachas of a woman giving birth on Shabbos. So we learned a Braisa here. It's 5 lines from the bottom. We learned a Braisa here. It says a woman giving birth, if she needs any oil to be brought for her, so somebody can bring the oil through a Rosh Hashanah for her on Shabbos, even to carry it in the Rosh Hashanah. But it said in the Braisa that if someone's bringing it for her, hold it in the palms of your hand. If you can't bring it in the palms of your hand, bring it in your hair. If you can't bring it in the hair, then you can bring it in a regular keli. Okay, so Zok the Gemara. This woman giving birth needs oil. Frak the Gemara, so it says that you can put it in your hair, which simply would mean that you pour the oil into your hair, and that's how you walk with it into the Rosh Hashanah. And then when you arrive to this woman that needs giving birth, you squeeze it out of your hair for her to be able to use. Frak the Gemara, putting it into your hair, so there's mamash malach of schita here. Why would that be a better idea than just carrying it in a vessel to bring it to the woman without having to do this malach of schita, squeezing it out of your hair? So Rab and Rav Yosef Damri Tarvayu, so Rab and Rav Yosef both say, Ein schita b'seyar. There is no schita, the malach of schita, squeezing out something, it does not apply to here. So Rashi explains the hair is a hard surface, it doesn't absorb. What happens is the oil or any liquid, water, whatever it is, gets sort of attached and stuck between the hairs, but the actual hair itself does not absorb. So therefore there is no real schita in atayra. And this is very important b'chlal, b'negei to a person that goes to the mikveh, b'negei to drying yourself. So minatayra, there's no isser to dry yourself from any water. But midrabanan, there still is a schita with the hair. So therefore you shouldn't dry your hair on Shabbos, midrabanan. Okay? But minatayra, there is no schita, so therefore over here as well, there's no issue of putting it in the hair for issa midrabanan to bring it for this woman that's giving birth. Ravashi says, yesh schita b'seya. Even if we were to say that there is the malacha of schita when it's in the hair, mevila bekeli derech sayra. What the Braisa meant to say is not that you pour the oil into the hair itself, and that's how you're bringing it to her. It's in a keli that you tie it to your hair. Okay, and the point here is you're carrying it through the Rishus Harabim, and it's being brought with a shini, with an unusual way. The kama, the efshel, shnuye mishaninon. When you're doing a malacha for a woman that's giving birth, although you're allowed to do malacha for her, and in the time when she's giving birth, she's even considered to be a chayla sheyesh by sakana, that her life could be in danger. Nevertheless, as much as it's possible to make a shinoi, you have to make a shinoi. This is a special, unique thing, only b'negei to a woman giving birth. The chlal da halach is regarding a chayla sheyesh b'sakana, that you can do the malacha without making any shinoi. You don't have to make any effort to make a shinoi. This is only b'negei to a woman giving birth. The reason is, the Alter Rebbe brings this in Shulchan Aruch from the Maggid Mishnah, that a woman that gives birth, the Alter Rebbe calls it a dava tivi. This is the natural way of the world. This is not a person that falls into a danger, is sick, and he's in a danger. This is a normal thing. And the lashon of the Alter Rebbe is that echad of 1,000, even not one out of 1,000 women don't die in birth. So on one hand, it's considered to be a woman that her life is in danger if you don't provide her everything she needs at that time. At the same time, though, it's different than a regular chayla sheyesh b'sakana, and here there's the klal that whatever you do for a woman giving birth, if you can make a shinui, do it with a shinui. Amar Rav Yudah Mashmul Chaya, a woman giving birth, kozman shakeva pasuach, as long as the womb is open. And the Gemara will describe soon what period that is. Bein amrat tzrichani, whether she says it's something that I need. Bein lo yomrat tzrichani, and whether she does not say that I need this. Machal and alas Shabbos. We're machal Shabbos for her. Nistama kever, once the womb is closed, bein amrat tzrichani, whether she says that she needs something, bein lo yomrat tzrichani, whether she does not say she needs something, but others are saying that she needs it, ein machal and alas Shabbos. At that point, the womb is closed and she's not anymore, she's completely out of danger, you can't be machal Shabbos for her at all. Rav Ashi Masni Hachi, what we just quoted here was the version, the way Rav Ashi learned this, but Mazutra learned it differently. Mazutra Masna Hachi. Amar Rav Yudah Mashmuel Chaya, a woman that's giving birth, calls man shakeva pasuach, as long as the womb is open, bein amra tzrichani, bein amra ein tzrichani, whether she says, I need something, or whether she clearly said, no, I don't need this. Right? But there's someone else that's saying, no, she needs this. Machal and aleas ha-Shabbos. You're allowed to be machal Shabbos for her. Nista makever, if the womb is closed, amra tzrichani, machal and aleas ha-Shabbos. Lo amra tzrichani, if she does not say I need this, then ein machal and aleas ha-Shabbos. So according to Mazutra, even after the womb is closed, if she says that she needs something, you could still be machal Shabbos for her. Okay, there's a discussion in Rishonim in both of these cases here regarding where the opinion of the doctor plays a role here. What's if she says she needs it and the doctor says, nah, she doesn't need it, she's fine without it? What's the other way around? She says that she does not need it, but the doctor says, no, she does need it. So there's different opinions in the Rishonim about it. Usually your mekel, if the doctor is the one that says that she needs it, you can follow the opinion of the doctor as well. So Ravina said to Meremer about these two versions here. Mazutra masni l'kola. So Mazutra repeated the statement of Rav Yudah Mashmul in a more lenient manner. Ravashi masni l'chumra. Ravashi repeated it in a more stringent manner. So Hilchas Kaman, who should be paskin like? Amalei halacha ke Mazutra. Here the halacha is like Mazutra because safik nefashis lahakol. When it comes to matters of life and death, we follow the lenient opinion. Now the Gemara explains, so what's considered to be a woman giving birth and her womb is open? From what point and onward do we say that her womb is opened? Abaye says, from the point that she sits on the birthing stool or when she goes onto the bed where she's going to give birth. At that point the womb is open and then she's in a greater sakana, and then it applies that even if she says, I don't need this, we can be Machal Shabbos for her. Rav Yeshua gives another shear, when there's blood that comes out. And others say a third opinion, if they have to carry her, if they have to support her to walking, she has such intense labor that she has to be supported when she's walking. There's different opinions in Rishonim when you get to these three shiurim here, what's first, what's second, what's earlier, what's later. It's various different shiurim, different women are different. Up until what point after birth do we say that the womb is still open? Abaye says 3 days. It's 7 days. Not until 7 days later does the womb not completely close. A third opinion, shloishim. It's 30 days for the womb to completely close. And until 30 days, she's still in a matzav of sakana. Even if she says, I don't need anything, and others say she does, it could be Machal Shabbos for her. Amri Nerdoi said, and here's this opinion of Nerdoi, is the way we paskin, Chaya, a woman giving birth, there are 3 different time periods. There's Gimel, Zayin, Velamed. 3 days after, 7 days after, and 30 days after. So what's the halacha? Gimel, if it's 30 days after, Bein Amra Tzrichani, Bein Amra Loy Tzrichani, whether she says I need something, whether she says no, I don't need this, Machal Naleas Shabbos. We could be Machal Shabbos for her. Zayin, if it's within the week after she gave birth, Amra Tzrichani, Machal Naleas Shabbos. If she's saying she needs something, we'll Machal Shabbos for her. Amra Loy Tzrichani, she says I don't need anything, then Ein Machal Naleas Shabbos. You're not Machal Shabbos for her. Lamed, if it's 30 days, even if she says I need something, Shabbos, her life is not in danger and you can't be Machal Shabbos for her. But even within 30 days, she's still considered to be a chayla. Not a chayla sheyesh by sakana, but she's a chayla. Aval oisin al yidei armoy. You can do a malacha for her through a goy. Kedravula bereider aviloi de Omar. Kol tzarche chayla, all needs of a chayla, even a chayla that's not in danger, nasin al yedei armoy b'Shabbos, could be done through a goy on Shabbos. Uked Rav Amnuna, and Rav Amnuna says this also. Da'amar Rav Amnuna, dava she'ein by sakane oimul enachri v'isa. Something, a person that has something, an ailment, and he's not in danger, but you can have a guy do a malacha for you on Shabbos. And in some cases, this, by the way, applies also for a yid, to have another yid do a malacha d'Rabbana for you on Shabbos. Just like a guy doing a malacha for another yid that's not well on Shabbos is a isam d'Rabbana. Usually you're not allowed to have a guy do something for you on Shabbos. In certain situations, if a person is, the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch says, if there's one limb of the person's body that's in danger, his life is not in danger, but there's one limb that's in danger, so then another yid could do a malacha d'Rabbanan for you on Shabbos. A what? Yeah. Now this is a stam, we're coming up soon to Tisha B'Av. The Gemara over here is also relevant when you get to Tanesim. I mean, this is a Gemara, Sugi and Yuma, but just to bring it up, when you get to a woman that gave birth, if she's still within 30 days of when she gave birth, it's something that's negated to whether she's obligated to fast or not. There's leniencies to a woman that's within 30 days, that even on Yom Kippur, that you won't have to fast. But once you're out of that 30-day period, so then it's not so easy to be mekel that she doesn't have to fast in Yom Kippur. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. L'chaya, so Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel said, for a woman that gave birth, lamed yom, there's a special halacha within 30 days. So he said this for something else, not for what we said before, but there's a special status when you get a woman that gives birth within 30 days. L'mai halchasa, l'gabi what did he say this? Amri Nerdoi said, not l'gabi being machal Shabbos for her, it's l'gabi something else, l'tvila, about her going to the mikveh. Well, this is talking about then, when the women would go to the mikveh, and you're talking about cold mikvehs. So what he said was, within 30 days, a woman that gave birth should not go to the mikveh that's cold, because that could be dangerous to her. She'll get very cold, and it'll be dangerous. Omar Rava, so Rava says, Lo yamara nelo she'ein bailo ima. This is only said if her husband is not with her. Avo bailo ima, if her husband is with her, then it's not an issue. Bailo mechamama. Her husband will warm her up. Because the story that happened, the brate de Rav Chisda, the daughter of Rav Chisda, which was married to Rava, Tavla begoit lasen yaimin shalei b'fnei baila. She did go to the mikveh within 30 days after birth, and her husband was not with her in the city. Vitztaniyas, and she got cold. She wasn't well. They brought her on a bed all the way to Rava, which was in the yeshiva in Pumbedisa, to be able to warm her up.
Why would she go to mikveh if her husband didn't know?
Good question. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Rav Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel, Eisen medura l'chaya b'Shabbos. You're allowed to make a fire for a woman that gave birth on Shabbos to warm her up. Savamina. So now the svar over here was, they thought the pshat in this is, when was this said? L'chaya in. This is only said about the woman that gave birth. L'chayla light, for any other person that's sick, this doesn't apply. In other words, another person that's sick and he's a chayla sheyesh b'sakana. B'maysak shamimin. This is only said in the winter when it's cold. B'maysachama, if it's in the summer, light, so then you're not allowed to make a fire to heat up the person. Now, there's two gerses if you guide this over here, this parenthesis in the Gemara. I'm going to read it inside and I'll tell you the pshat and why you are guided and why you're not guided. First, let's read it inside. V'loihi, and this is not true. This distinction between a woman that gave birth or any other sick person, or the summer and the winter, it's not true. Loishna chaya, makes no difference if it's a woman that's giving birth. For loishna chayla, or any other person that's in danger and he's a chayla. Loishna b'maysak shamim, doesn't matter if it's the winter. Loishna b'maysak chama, or if it's in the summer. Either way, you could make a fire to heat up the person. And where do we see this? What's the source that it doesn't make a difference? Because of what we see that he said in the name of Shmuel, Hikis dam, a person that had bloodletting from him, and v'nitztanen, the person gets very cold and his life could be in danger. You could make a fire on Shabbos even if it's in the heat of the winter, heat of the summer. You see that not only when you get a woman that gives birth, even when you get a chayla, even in Tammuz, you can make a fire to heat up somebody that his life is in danger. Shmuel tzolchale takatka, the shaga. So Shmuel, when he had bloodletting, so they needed to make a fire to heat him up. They took this expensive chair that was made out of shaga wood, some kind of expensive wood. But his life was so much in danger that they broke up this chair and they used it as firewood to heat him up. Rav Yehuda, when he had bloodletting, he had a couch that came from Yavna also, an expensive couch, and they broke it up to use as firewood to heat him up. Rabbe, when he had bloodletting and he had to warm up, they took a shashifa, a stool, a footstool, and they broke it up to make for the fire. Abaya said to Rabbe, you took this footstool and you used it in the fire to heat yourself up. How are you allowed to do this? It's baltashchis. Baltashchis du gufoi odifli. The baltashchis of my body is more important to me, and my life is in danger. So the Marsha asks the question, how could Abaye even ask this question to Rabbi? Abaye didn't know this. Especially if we said before that Shmuel said that you could be Mechal Shabbos for somebody that had bloodletting and make him a fire even in Tammuz. So Abaye didn't know the statement of Shmuel. So therefore the Marsha says, don't be guided the parentheses, and there will be the answer to your question. Take out that parentheses, and when Shmuel said that even in Tammuz you can make a fire, he wasn't talking about Shabbos. He was saying, Shmuel said a statement, a person that had bloodletting, even middle of the week, he's telling you that it's important that you should make a fire for him, that the person should be warm. Nothing to do with Shabbos, and it's not a continuation to the Gemara before that was talking about Shabbos. And that's why Abaye didn't realize to what extent a person that had blood taken out of him, that there could be his life could be in danger. But the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch, the way he paskins, he is guided this parentheses in the Gemara. And the Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch paskins that a person that his life is in danger, and a person that had bloodletting, even in Tammuz, you can make a fire for him on Shabbos. So it was guided this Gersei in the Gemara. Okay, let's go weiter. The rest of the Gemara here, basically, almost till the end of the Perek, will be talking about the Hakozah Stam, bloodletting. A person should be ready to sell the roof over his head, but rather have to buy shoes to wear shoes. And Rashi says to walk around without shoes is something that's very embarrassing, and that's something that a person should even be ready to sell the roof over his head. Hik is dam. Now a person that had bloodletting, he doesn't have what to eat afterwards. Yimkar min olam sheberaglav. So even shoes that we just said is so important, he should sell his shoes. V'yaspik man tzarich suda, and he should make sure he should have the food that he needs for the meal after bloodletting. My tzarich suda. What is the suda that is beneficial to eat after bloodletting? Rav amar basar. Rav says to eat meat. Shmuel amar yayin. Shmuel says to drink wine. Rav amar basar. Rav says the reason why you should eat meat. Nafsha cholaf nafsha. The blood that is the life of the person, the nefesh is in the blood. Adamu nefesh, you take out the nefesh, so you replace the energy of the person by eating the meat that gives the person that nefesh, that blood, and the basar. Shmuel amayayin, Shmuel says wine is beneficial. Sumke chalav sumke. The redness of the wine will replace that redness of the blood that was taken from him. If you remember from the Gemara before, Shmuel was the doctor and Rav was the patient. I don't know if you remember when Rav came to Bavel and Rav had stomach pains and Shmuel was the doctor. Shmuel was trying to heat him. So here you see a case of a doctor and a patient where the doctor has one opinion and the patient has another opinion. Anyways, just to point out, the bloodletting that the Gemara is talking about over here is not the bloodletting that we have today where a person has some blood taken from him, a blood test or whatever. That's not that kind of bloodletting at all. As we'll see soon in the Gemara, the bloodletting they did then was they took out a much larger amount of blood, a massive amount of blood. So much so, the Gemara will soon say, a person takes out blood to the extent that he only has a revi'is dam left in his body and he could mamish in a matzav of sakana. They would take out blood to a much greater extent today, and that doesn't apply today to stam a blood test. Simen shenimsar. This word shenimsar is the simen for the names of the Amiroim that the Gemara is going to say in their name things about the subject. Shmuel, so the shin is Shmuel. Shmuel b'yaymed Ovid Milsa, the day that he had this procedure of bloodletting. Of delay tafshila de tachali, so he prepared him to eat spleen. That was beneficial. Rabbi Yechanan Shasi ad nafik tie mu'une. Rav Yechanan drank wine until there was an aroma of wine that came out of his ears. Rav Nachman Shasi, Rav Nachman drank wine ad kofi tachle, until his spleen was soaking in wine. Rav Yosef Shasi, Rav Yosef drank so much wine ad nafik mirivde de kuslisa, the kusilta, that from that puncture that they made to take out blood from that place, the aroma of wine was coming out. Rave, excuse me. Rave Mahader Achamre Bartlose Tarfe. Rave would try to get wine that came from a vineyard that has three leaves. Rashi says this was a vineyard that was 3 years old. It was a good quality wine. Amul Rav Nachman by Yitzchak l'Rabbanan. Rav Nachman by Yitzchak told the Rabbanan, the Torah students, B'matusim minaychu, I beg of you, b'yaymed ha'kazeh, on a day that you have bloodletting, imru l'bisaychu, tell your wives, Nachman nikla legaban. We're having a guest tonight. Rav Nachman is coming to us. So, like this, your wife will prepare a good meal. So you'll have a good meal to eat after the bloodletting. V'kulu erumi, similar thing the Gemara says, V'kulu erumi asiri. Usually deception is not allowed. Bar mehayarma. Besides this deception over here, that the Gemara will describe now after the bloodletting. The shari, which is allowed. Man David Milsa, if you had this procedure, bloodletting. V'layavshale lishko v'layavshale. You can't afford to buy whether wine or meat that you need to heal yourself. So what do? Lishko zuzah Mecca. Take a worn out coin, which not necessarily is a currency that will be accepted in a store. The Lezel Leshev Chanusa, go to 7 different stores, at the time shir revisa, and in each store taste the wine to buy it, to see which wine you want to buy, and then offer to pay him with this coin. And if he doesn't accept it, so go to the next store, until eventually you drink a revius of wine. So this is deception. It's not geneva, because if the store owner will accept this coin, you'll buy the wine. You'll buy it. But if he doesn't buy it, so then you'll go to the next store. V'iloi, if you don't have this available either, leichel shev tamari ochmasa, eat 7 black figs, dates. V'lishav mishcha betzidei, and you have to put oil on your temples. V'nigni b'shimsha, and you should lie in the sun. Okay, that will be beneficial. Yeah. Avlate, this individual Avlate, that was a guy, Ashkechel Shmuel, the Gani B'Shimsha. He found Shmuel lying in the sun. Amalei, so Avlate said to him, Chakimed Yudai, the wise of Jews, the wise man of the Jews. Bisha, mi avatava, something that's bad could turn out being good. The sun, the rays of the sun is not good for you. Why are you lying here like this in the sun? Amalei, so he answered him, Yoimidar Kazahu. It's a day that of bloodletting, and then after bloodletting it is good to lie in the sun. That's why I'm lying in the sun. Now the Gemara says this response of Shmuel wasn't really true. Velohi, that's not what happened there. Elo, Iki Yoimid the Maile Bashimshe, there is one day that in the whole year, again, Iki Yoimid the Maile Bashimshe Bekula Shata. There is one day in the year that it's beneficial to sit in the rays of the sun. When is that? Yoime the Naflebeit Kufas Tammuz. The actual day that the beginning is the beginning of the summer, the beginning of Kufas Tammuz, of the heat of the summer. On that day, it's good to sit in the sun. And that was the day that he encountered Shmuel lying in the sun. The Sava, why didn't Shmuel tell this to him? The Sava, Shmuel thought to himself, why should I tell this guy this secret, this thing? He didn't want to tell him. Okay, the next thing in the Gemara brings a siman of different things we'll talk about. Heikel, Beruach, Taime, Shah, siman. Rav and Shmuel Damri Tarvayu. Rav and Shmuel both say, so here Rav and Shmuel are both agreeing about what you should do after bloodletting. Kol HaMeikel Besudas HaKozes Dam, a person that's lenient about this meal that you should eat after letting blood. Mekil Elohim is a Neisav and Hashemayim. The Eibishter is going to be lenient about providing this person with the food that he needs. Vayimrim, and they say, Hu al chayev lechas. If he's not careful with his own life, ani achas alav. I should be careful with his life. So this is a general message. A person, the nishmat moida nafsheseichem, the Eibishter acts with the person mida keneged mida. Rav Shmuel Damri Tarvayu, Hai Man David Milsif, you had this procedure, Leileisiv, Heichedekarich Zike. Do not sit in a place where there's a wind blowing. Dilme Shafile Umne, because maybe this person that took blood from you, so he took out a lot of blood, drained you. He took out so much blood that it's just mamish like a revius, the minimum amount of blood that you need to survive. And a wind could come, and could draw that drop of blood out of you, and your life will be in danger. Shmuel have a ragel. Shmuel's custom was va'avad milsa, and he would do this procedure bebeisa in a house that was very well insulated. The shev levenya va'ariche. It was built with 7 bricks and 1 half brick. Ariche is a half brick. It was well insulated. There should be no wind. Yayim Echada, one day when he was doing this procedure, avad ve'argish benafshe, and he felt that he's not feeling well. Something's not good here. Badak, they checked the room that he was in. There was missing 1 half a brick, so there was some wind that came in, and he wasn't feeling good. Rav Shmuel Damri Tarvayu, Rav Shmuel both said, Hai man da Ovid Milse, if you have this procedure, Litta Midi, first you should eat something, and Vahada Lepuk, and then you should go out. If you don't taste something first before you go out, if you encounter a dead body, your face will become green. If you'll encounter somebody that murdered somebody, and katal nafsha, he murdered somebody, then you will die. If you will encounter a swine, it's difficult, it can cause you to have a skin condition. Tsaras, Rashi says, it will bring you to have a problem. Rav Shmuel Damri Tavayu, another thing Rav Shmuel both said. Haiman the Ovid Milsa, somebody that is did this procedure of bloodletting, Lishi Porta. He should wait first. And after waiting a bit, then he should stand up. Shouldn't jump up immediately. Because it was said, hey, there are 5 situations if a person jumps up, so he's closer to death than life. And they are the following. Ochal v'amad, the person that eats and immediately jumps up without waiting until the food settles in his stomach. Shasa, he drinks, v'amad, and he immediately jumps up. Yashan, a person is sleeping and he wakes up in the morning, v'amad, and he immediately jumps up. Hikizdam, bloodletting, v'amad, and he immediately jumps up. Shimish mitasa, he has relations, v'amad, and he immediately jumps up. So we see here the same thing, that a person should wait a little. Omar Shmuel said, what's the right day in the week or the month to let blood? Porsa de damer, to let blood, kol tlas niyamin, so it's once in 30 days. Our first Gemara tells us how often. Once in 30 days. Ubeina prakim, when a person gets to that point in his life where he's between the first and second half of his life, what's that? So if a person's life is 80 years, shivim shmainim shana, so when a person gets to the age of 40, so then yimayit. So Rashi says it shouldn't be once a month, it should be once in 2 months. Ubeina prakim, if a person is 20 years older, he's 60 years old, between 40 and 80. He's right in between when he's 60 years old, yachsev yimayit. He should minimize again, and he should only let blood once in 3 months. Well, Shmuel, then Shmuel said, Pursa de dama, when's the time, the right time for a person to let blood? Chad b'shabbata, Chad b'shabbata on a Sunday. Arba on a Wednesday, Umayla Shabbata, or on Erev Shabbos. Those are the 3 days of the week. Al Sheni v'chamishi, but on Monday or Thursday, loy, should not let blood then. Why? Damamar mishi yeshle schus, someone that has schus from his forefathers, yak is dam b'sheni b'chamishi. He could allow himself to do bloodletting on Monday and Thursday. And this is a day of judgment. Why is Monday and Thursday a day of judgment? Just like over here below, there's the takana, in those times that the bezin sits on Monday and Thursdays to paskin halachas, to judge people. The maila as well, this is a day that a person is being judged. So therefore it's not a time for a person to put himself into a danger to let blood. How about on Tuesday? Why is bloodletting not good on Tuesday? But b'Shabbat on Tuesday, night time aloi. Why not? Mishum de kaimele madim bezovi, because the mazel of madim is then it's dominant bezovi in the hours of the day that's in pairs, in the second hour of the day, or in the 4th hour of the day, or on the 6th hour of the day. So Rashi explains. If you take a look into Rashi. In the Rashi, the Kaimale B'madim, so Rashi says that there are all the mazalis, and Rashi actually names all the mazalis over here. The Rashi brings a simon, Shatzam, Chankal. Right, so they are Shapsoi, Tzedek, Madim, Chama, Noiga, Koichav, Levona. Those are the 7 mazalis. These 7 mazalis, the Eibishter began their hashpah in the world on Wednesday. When the mazalis were hung, then it was Tuesday night it began. Right, and it's a constant, ongoing cycle from the beginning of B'riyas Olam throughout the entire. One second. It starts with Shapsoi, 1 hour Shapsoi. The next hour is Tzedek. The next hour is Madim, and the next hour is Chama. It's a constant, ongoing thing. Keeps on repeating itself, the cycle. And this cycle that keeps on repeating itself, it comes out that specifically on a Tuesday, during the daytime, there's the mazel of Madim that's dominant in an hour that's Ziva, which is double. And there's a Gemara in Psachim that talks about zugais. When there's something that comes in doubles, it could also be a cause of harm. So therefore, on other days of the week, even though there's also madim, but it's it's in a first hour, on the third hour, or on the fifth hour, not where you have a group of peers, and or it's at nighttime. Over here, during the day, you have the mazel of madim in an hour which is a peer, and therefore it's a source of something which could be a sakana. And like you mentioned, this is also the concept in again to not making kiddush between 6 and 7 on Friday night, because that's a time when the mazel madim is shining then. Let's see over here the lashon of the Gemara. Now the Gemara asks this question actually regarding Friday. If we're saying that you shouldn't let blood on Tuesday because of the mazel madim, so maili shabbati nami kaime bezavi. The mazel madim is dominant on Friday also in a hour of a peer during the day. So answers the Gemara, but kivin the dashu beirabim. Since on Friday it's a time that many are already doing this, so shem ipsayim Hashem. So the Eibishter, there's a pasuk that says the Eibishter guards the fools. So many have done this, so therefore it's okay to do it. Rashi explains why would everybody do it on Friday? Because as we said, you have to have a meal after the letting blood. So if they couldn't afford during the week to have a special meal after letting blood, so they did it on Friday because they're going to be eating a Sudas Shabbos at night. Shmuel said when you get to the day of the week and the day of the month, Dalit, the day of the week on Wednesday, the Hu Dalit, which is on the fourth day of the month. Dalit, the fourth day of the week, the Huar Beisa, which is the 14th day of the month. Dalit, Wednesday, to Esrin Varba, which is on the 24th day of the month. Dalit, or the fourth day of the week, the Leka Arba, where there's no 4 days left to the month anymore. Basrei, after this. Sakante, to let blood on these dates, it's a danger. Rosh Chodesh, to let blood on Rosh Chodesh, V'sheni Loi, on the second day of Rosh Chodesh, Chulsha. This is a time that will cause a person to be weak. Shlishi Loi, if you take let blood on the third day of the month, Sakana, then it's a danger. Maile Yom Tov, to let blood on Erev Yom Tiv, Chulsha. You could, but it'll make you weak. Maile Yom Tzarte, to let blood on Erev Shvuos, Sakanta. This is a day where it's mamish a sakana. The Gazdru Rabbanon Akula Maili Yom Tov Mishum Yom Tov Datzeres. The Chachamim made a gzeira that you shouldn't let blood on any Erev Yom Tov, so that you shouldn't come to do it on Erev Shvuos, because then it's a sakana. Now the Gemara is going to say an amazing thing. What's taka the sakana of Erev Shvuos more than any other Yom Tov? Because when the Eibishter gave the Yidden the Teireh, the Nafik Bei Zike, so then a wind came out. V'shmei Tavuach, and the name of this wind was Tavuach, the slaughterer. And what was this wind? The Eloi Kiblu Yisrael Teireh. If Yidden wouldn't accept the Teireh, have a Tavach Lula B'Srael Damayu. This wind would have slaughtered the Yidden's flesh and blood. So therefore, every Erev Shvuos, there's this same wind again that comes, and therefore it's a danger to let blood on this day. As we said before, that wind is a danger. You ever felt the wind in Erev Shvuos? Comes every year. Shmuel, Ochal Chite, a person that eats wheat, bread from wheat, V'hikis dam, and then he lets blood. Lo hikis elo lo yisachita, so it's not effective. All it's going to do, what happens is a person eats, and then his body becomes heavy, so the blood that you take out just takes away that heaviness, but it's not beneficial to the person. V'hanemili l'refua. That's only if the bloodletting would be for the purpose to heal him, so it's not going to heal him. If the person is just trying to lighten himself from the extra blood that's in his body, then mekel. So then it'll be beneficial for that, even if he ate chita right before this. Hamakis dam, a person that lets blood, shtila alter. You should drink right away. Achila at chatzi mil. You should wait to eat a little while until the amount that it takes to go a half a mil. The question was asked about the statement. Shtila alter maili. What are we saying here? Are we saying that if you drink right away, that's beneficial? Aval basahachi, if you drink later, kashi, it's not good for you. Whatever you drink out later on, it's not going to be harmful, but it's not going to be beneficial either. Take it. This wasn't resolved. When we said here that a person should wait to eat until the amount it takes to go a half a mil. Are we saying only then is it beneficial? So after that amount of time, or before that amount of time, kashi, that's going to be harmful. If you eat before then or after then, it's not beneficial and it's not harmful either. Take. Machris Rav announced the following. some nutritional advice. Meya kari bezuzah, to buy 100 kari, which is gourds or gourds or pumpkins, or some say different melons, whatever it is. Bezuzah, if you can find 100 of them with one zuz, you should buy it. Meya reishi, 100 heads of an animal. Bezuzah, if you can find it cheap for one zuz, you should buy it. In other words, the nutritional value of these things is not so high. So if you find it cheap, buy it. If not, not. That's what Rashi explains. Meyes fami, if there are 100 lips of an animal, meat, lips of an animal, v'loi klum. It's worthless. There's no nutritional benefit at all. Don't buy it at all. Amar Rav Yosef, ki avine bei Rav Huna, when I was by Rav Huna, yoyim de mefagri bei Rabbanon, a day that the Rabbanon and Yeshiva were not learning. Rashi says that they were lazy, and a day that they didn't come to the Seder to learn. Taisu says they were tired, they couldn't learn, they couldn't learn that day. So Amri, they would say, ha'idne yoyim desfamihu, this is a day of the lips. I had no idea what this expression was, but now that I see, benegayet to what Rav said, that the lips of an animal has no beneficial, no nutritional value to it, so that was this expression that they used, that it's a day that has no value to it. Going back to the Mishnah, when a baby is born, you can tie its umbilical cord. Tan Rabbanan, kaisher natabu, you tie the umbilical cord. Rabbi Yosi says, av chaytche, you could also cut it. The time in shalya. Now the shalya, the placenta, you could envelop it in something, kidei sheyacham avlad, in order that it should heat up the child. There was some kind of a benefit that if you took this placenta and you enveloped it and put it away, it brought warmth to the child. Princesses, they would put this placenta in a pail of oil. B'nai Sashirim, the rich girls, rich women, b'sveigim shel tzemer, they would wrap it in fine wool. B'nai Saniyim, the poor women, b'muchen, they would wrap it in cotton. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabba Baravu, Amar Rav, halachik Rav Yosi. We paskin like Rav Yosi regarding the umbilical cord, that it's allowed to not only be tied but also cut. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabba Baravu, Amar Rav, Meidim chachamim Rav Yosi, chachamim would be made to Rav Yosi, but tabash shnei tinaikis, if you have twins and their umbilical cords are attached to each other, she'chaytchin, you're allowed to cut it, my time at the menaschi adadi, they pull upon each other. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabba Baravu, Amar Rav, everything that it's written in the parsha of the Teicheche, this is not talking about the Teicheche in the Torah, but this is the Teicheche in Yeshaya, where it talks about the Eibishter says to Yidden, there's the mashal there that's used, the Eibishter says to Yidden that you are compared to a baby that was born and was forsaken, and the mother didn't provide for him anything, and then somebody came along and provided everything for him, and then the child grows up and forgets about the person that gives them everything. The same thing, the Yidden, the Eibishter provides them everything, and then the Yidden forget. So there it describes all the different things that wasn't done, that should have been done for the child. So Oisen L'chai b'Shabbos, all of these things that it's described here in this pasuk are needed for a baby, and it can be done on Shabbos. What are they? Shenemar, Umayl De'isayich, when in your birth, B'yoyim Eiled Esaysach, on the day that you're born, so you lekores sharich, your umbilical cord was not cut off, and you weren't bathed in water to soften your skin, and there wasn't salt that was put on your sin to harden the skin, and you weren't wrapped in a blanket. So what do we see from this pasuk? So over here we see that you can help a woman give birth on Shabbos. And you do it for whatever you need. Your umbilical cord wasn't cut off, so mikan, that this is necessary. So you can cut this on Shabbos. You didn't bathe the baby in water. You can bathe the baby in water on Shabbos. And the salt wasn't used for the baby. Those times they used the salt. You can wrap the baby in a blanket on Shabbos. Hadron Allah mefanen. Taisus here points out all these things that it just mentions of Ibn Get what you do a baby of Shabbos, none of them are on malachim medayraisa. These things are only asim medrabanan, and therefore they are allowed to be done for the baby on Shabbos.